I have one more confidence interval panic method problem for you to try, and then we're going to look at some properties and characteristics of confidence intervals. So this one is titled Perception of Time, and what they did was they asked people to guess when 60 seconds had gone by. So they started a stopwatch, and when people felt that it had been 60 seconds, they said stop, and the researcher recorded the time that was on the stopwatch. So 40 randomly selected statistics students had their ability tested to determine when 1 minute or 60 seconds had passed. The 40 students yielded a sample mean of 58.3 seconds. You may assume the data is normally distributed. If sigma is equal to 9.5 seconds, construct a 90% confidence interval for the mean length of time that passed. And then once you've found that interval, there's a follow-up question here, and that is, are the students good at guessing when 60 seconds had passed? Explain. All right, so go ahead and pause the video and give these a try. All right, so the P in panic is the parameter statement. That's what we're being asked to do. So something like a 90% CI mean time passed works just fine for that, anything along those lines. A is going to be our assumptions and conditions. So we have 3 things to check before we can proceed with our confidence interval. So the first is a random sample, which is stated in the problem. And then we have to decide between normal and large. So this problem actually says you may assume the data is normally distributed. So I circled normal and put stated. You also could have used large since n equals 40, so that is bigger than 30, and the central limit theorem applies here. So either one of those would have worked. And then our population standard deviation is sigma equal to 9.5. So since we have our population standard deviation given to us in the problem, the name of this interval is a 1 mean z interval. And then the I is the interval, so we're looking for our endpoints. We'll take the 58.3 average plus or minus 1.645. So that 1.645 is tied to that 90% level. And then times 9.5 over the square root of 40. So I got somewhere between 55.8 to 60.7. And so C is our conclusion and context. So we are 95% confident the true mean time that elapsed is somewhere between 55.8 and 60.7 seconds. All right, so now for our follow-up question. Are the students good at guessing when 60 seconds had passed? All right, so let's talk about this interval for a second. A confidence interval is an interval where we think the true population mean is. It could be anywhere inside that interval, but we think that it's somewhere within it. 60 seconds is within that interval. The upper bound is 60.7. So it is plausible or possible that 60 is the true value. So I would say yes, these students were pretty good at guessing when 60 seconds had passed based on this confidence interval.